So friends, I think you all have seen my previous videos and I think it is very helpful for all of you. Okay. To get all the videos, please subscribe my channel to get the next videos. And I am planning to give you the section test for each subject in detail. Okay. So please be listened in everything. Okay. Now let's start the second part of WPSC Assistant Engineer Civil Recruitment 2007. Question number 19. Two perfectly elastic spheres of equal masses moving in the same direction with their velocities in the ratio 2:1 have an impact. Okay. After the impact, they will. And these are the options. Now, the correct answer will they will move in the same direction with a velocity of 1:2. As you all know that if two equal and perfectly sphere moving in velocity 2:1 in the same direction, they interchange their velocity after impact. Okay, so after impact they move in the same direction with a velocity of 1:2. Now next question number 20. The two simply supported beam B1 and B2 have spans L and 2L respectively. Beam B1 has a cross section of 1:1 unit and beam B2 has a cross section of 2:2 units. These beams are subjected to concentrated load W at the center of the span. The ratio of the maximum flexural stresses in these beams. Okay. Now please see it carefully that now moment M1 equals to WL by 4 and moment M2 equals to 2WL by 4. Now moment of inertia I1 equal to BD cube by 12 and same I2 equal to 2 into 2 cube by 12. Okay. And in the first case the depth of neutral axis Y1 equals to 1 by 2 and depth of neutral axis in the second case is 2 by 2. And we know that the flexural stress sigma equals to m by I into y. Okay. So sigma 1 by sigma 2 equal to m1 y1 by I1 divided by m2 y2 by I2. Okay. And putting the value, we get the value as 4. So option A is correct. Now question number 21. That a simply supported a load W is moving from left to right support on a simply supported beam of span L. The maximum bending moment at 0 point L from the left support is, and these are the option. Okay. Now we know that if this is a simply supported beam and load W is acting at a distance of 0.4 L from the left support. Okay. Now this is the influence line diagram for moment. Please watch it carefully. Now the ordinate of this point, let it be R. So R equal to, we know that x into L minus x by L, where x is the distance from the left support. This is the distance from the left support x. Okay. So here x equal to 0.4 L. Okay. So putting the value, we get 0.4 L into L minus 0.4 L divided by L. That means 0.24 L for unit load. Okay. 0.24 L for unit load. As here load W is acting, so here it will be 0.24 L into W. Okay, that means 0.24 WL. That means option C is correct. Now question number 22. The torsion resisting capacity of a given reinforced concrete section, and these are the option. Here option D will be correct answer, because we all know that in a given reinforced concrete section, torsion resisting capacity increases with the increase in stirrup and longitudinal steel. Now question number 23. The lateral ties in a reinforced concrete rectangular column under axial compression are used, and these are the option. Okay. Here we know that the lateral ties in a RCC rectangular column are used to avoid buckling of the longitudinal steel under the compression, because the lateral ties helps the reinforcement cage together during the construction process. Okay. So option A is correct. Now question number 24. Ties the load carrying members of a frame which are subjected to, and these are the options. Now we know that the members which are subjected to direct tension are called tension member, and in case of frames and trusses the tension members are also called as tie. Okay, so ties are the axial tension. Now question number 25. In a structure under fatigue stresses, the welded joints as compared to riveted joints will fall, and these are the options. Now we know that the welded joints as compared to riveted joints are more brittle. Okay, so therefore their fatigue strength is less than the member jointed by riveted joint. Okay, so option A is correct. Now question number 26. When a metacenter of a floating body is lower that center of gravity, then the body will be in, and these are the options. Now please listen carefully, that when the metacenter of a floating body is lower than the center of gravity, then it is called the unstable equilibrium, and for stable equilibrium metacenter should be above the center of gravity, and if it coincides with the center of gravity, then it is called as neutral equilibrium. Okay. Now question number 27. If the discharge Q in a pipe fitted with an end cap nozzle discharging a jet of water with a velocity v and hitting normally a plate which is moving with a velocity v by 2 towards the nozzle, the jet would hit the plate with a discharge, and these are the options. Okay. Now please see it carefully. We know that the discharge Q equals to A into V, where area of the cross section and V is the velocity of the float. Now Q dashed here, the next time, I mean second stage, discharge Q dashed equals to A into V minus of minus V2, because it is flowing in the opposite direction, so it is minus, so their relative velocity will be V minus of minus V2, that means V plus V2, that means 1.5 V. Okay, so 1.5 Q, so Q dash is 1.5 Q. Okay, so option C is correct, 1.5 Q. Now question number 28. Two pipe system in series is said to be equivalent, and these are the options. Now we know that in a pipe flow, when the pipe system are in series, okay, then the discharge for same head is same in both the system. Also please remember that two pipe system, when it will be in parallel, then the head loss will be same in both the system. Okay, so please remember that for pipe in series discharge is same, and for pipe in parallel head loss is same. Okay, so here option D is answer. Now question number 29. If the area of cross section of an open channel remains constant, the discharge will be maximum only when, and these are the options. Now you know that a channel section is considered to be most economical when it passes a maximum discharge for a given cross-sectional area. Okay, and we know from the equation of continuity that the area of cross-section will be constant, so when the velocity is maximum, then only the discharge will be maximum. So velocity of flow will be maximum is the correct option, option B. Now question number 30. The tangential force exerted by shearing stresses on an object submerged in a fluid is known as, and these are the options. Here it is known as the surface drag. Okay, option B is. Now question number 31. The dimension of dynamic viscosity, and these are the options. Here I have calculated it. We know that shear stress equals to mu into du by dy. Okay, where mu equal to dynamic viscosity, and du by dy equals to shear strain rate. So dynamic viscosity will be mu equals to tau by du by dy. Now stress, that dimension is ml t to the power minus 2, that means force per area square, that means L to the power minus 2. Okay, and du by dy, the dimension is t to the power minus 1. So the dimension of mu will be m L to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 1. But here I think there is some printing mistake in the option. The option will be m L to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 1. Okay. Now question number 32. A rectangular channel carries 6 meter cube per second flow of water. The critical velocity Vc in meter per second for a width of 3 meter will be, and these are the options. Now here discharge Q is 6 m³ per second and bed width B is 3 meter. So discharge per unit width small q equals to capital Q by B, that is 2 m square per second. Now critical depth Yc equals to, we know that Q square by G whole to the power 1 by 3, that means 4 by 9.81 1 by 3, that is 0.741 meter. Now velocity, critical velocity Vc equals to Q by Yc, that means small q by Yc, that is 2 by 0.741, that is 2.68. So 2.68 means option C is correct. Now question number 33. The discharge over a rectangular notch or wear is given by the equation, and these are the options. Okay. Now we know that for a rectangular notch, okay, the expression is 2 by 3rd CDL root over 2G h to the power 3 by 2. Okay, that means option C is correct. And for triangular notch, it is 8 by 15 CD root over 2G tan theta by 2 into h to the power 5 by 2. Okay, so that is for triangular notch. I am giving you the extra information for your betterment. Now question number 34. The closure of a valve is said to be instantaneous when time of closure t is, and these are the options. Now this is a question from environmental engineering. You all know that the closure of valve K is said to be instantaneous when time of closure t is equal to 0. Okay, and when it is t less than equal to 2L by C, then it is called rapid closure. That means 2L by C less than, that is rapid closure. And when it is greater than 2L by C, that is called slow closure. But for instantaneous closure, it is 0. Okay. Now question number 35. In a generalized equation of Bernoulli's equation, each of the term represents energy per unit mass. Okay, we all know that in Bernoulli's equation all the expression used, that those are nothing but the heads, different type of heads, that means velocity head or kinetic head, static head, pressure head, head of for loss in pipe or loss in flow. Okay, so option A is correct. Now question number 36. A soil has natural moisture content and Atterberg limit are as follows. That means liquid limit 60%, plastic limit 30%, and natural moisture content 50%. The liquidity index of the soil is, and these are the options. Okay. Now we know, this is the solution, that liquid limit IL equals to natural moisture content WL minus plastic limit by liquid limit minus plastic limit. That means putting the value 50 minus 30 by 60 minus 30 equals to 20 by 30 equals to 0.67. So liquidity index IL equals to 0.67. So option A is correct. Now question number 37. The capacity of a group of pile driven in clay is, and these are the options. Now we know that the capacity of a group of pile equals to number of piles into allowable load per pile into group efficiency, where the group efficiency generally is less than 1. So option D is correct, that multiplied by number of piles will give the capacity of a pile group. Now question number 38. An earthen embankment is compacted at water content of 17% to a bulk density 1.90 gram per cc. If the void ratio E is 0.63 and specific gravity of soil is 2.65, the degree of saturation of the compacted embankment will be, and these are the options. Now the solution is AC equals to omega G, where S is degree of saturation, E is the void ratio, and omega is the water content, and G is specific gravity. So degree of saturation S equals to omega G by 2 equals to 0.17 into 2.65 by 0.63 equals to 0.72. So degree of saturation is 0.72. Option A is correct. Now question number 39. Cohesion, and these are the options. Now please listen carefully that as per Rankine formula, active earth pressure equals to Ka gamma z minus 2c root over of Ka. Okay, and passive earth pressure equals to gamma z tan square alpha plus 2c tan alpha. So cohesion increases passive pressure and decreases active pressure. So option D is correct. Okay. So this is the second part for WBPSC Assistant Engineer Civil Recruitment 2007, and we'll upload next part in next some time. But in the meantime, I think you all will be helpful if I provide you by some section test which you can practice at your own. Okay, and the solution will be helpful for you. So please listen to my channel and please subscribe my channel to get all my videos. Thank you and all the best for your future endeavor.